We're about 10 after 7. Okay, so welcome to the October meeting of the Durham Personal Computer Users Club. Today we have a very interesting presentation coming to us about kitchen automation.
Okay, here we go. This is an old cartoon, but it's all about home automation in your kitchen. And I will be sending Hugh a copy of the presentation. So this is who I am. The presentation is brought to you by DPCUC Speaker Bureau. I'm the president of the Santa Clarita Valley Computer Club, and I'm the advisor for several regions, and also a member and co-creator of the Speakers Bureau. So from 2015 to 2025, you can see that home automation devices are growing like crazy. These numbers are in the billions. And I would imagine that everybody who is at your meeting has at least one or more. Some people are really in it big time, and somebody's just a few things. But I consider it really a lot of fun to have some home automation. So we want to connect the tech in our home to our Wi-Fi network. A lot of the stuff that we connect, we can easily do ourselves. But like I said, it's fun to be able to control everything through Wi-Fi. It's in real time, and we can voice control it. You could tell our Google friend who sits to my left here, or Alexa, what you want done. It makes our life easier, and it saves our time. And it gets to know you and your family, and they really do. When my son-in-law, one of my sons-in-law, and I set up my smart TV, I really wasn't into home automation. And over time, my smart TV and my Google friend over to my left, they have obviously chatted behind the scenes or something, because now, unbeknownst to me, without having to do anything, the smart TV is set up by my Google friend. So you need to decide what you're going to do. When you're starting to set up, do you want to have lights, appliances, gadgets? There's all kinds of things out there that you can get for your kitchen. What's your plan? Are you going to do it all at once? Oops, you just look to find out how much it's going to cost you, and maybe that isn't such a good idea. So how much do you want to spend right now? Have you decided you're going to do it in increments? Maybe 6 months later, you're going to do some more, and a year out, you're going to do some more things. And that helps spread out the costs, because it can be pricey. So which smart speaker do you want to use? I'm a Google kid. Other people are all about Alexa. Google remembers what I'm talking about, and I can go back and it'll kind of remember. We can carry on our conversation. Alexa likes you to be more precise with the words that you use and a particular sentence sequence of words. Google search is more comprehensive, but Alexa is a better shopper for you, but always wants you to buy your stuff from Amazon. And you can buy a heck of a lot of stuff to automate your kitchen from Amazon. So they let you combine your devices into rooms. You can say like, turn on the kitchen lights. They'll both do routines, turn on the kitchen lights, set the coffee pot, all different kinds of things. And they both link up to your TVs. Adding that in, you might have one in the kitchen. And Google Home has a big content advantage because it integrates with YouTube. And perhaps you're cooking something new and you can be watching a YouTube video. The person is walking you through how to put everything together and or how to use that particular Wi-Fi appliance. So let's start with smart bulbs. Of course, we want to control them with our voice, but do you want to spend less than $40? Wise bulbs are a great choice. I have C by GE. That was my choice. I don't have any of the color ones, and I do use the soft white. In my family room, they are set at 100%, and in my bedroom, they're at 70%. I just, need to be able to, be in bed and read my book and stuff like that. And again, it's just fun to have them. And I have 2 bathrooms, and they are both smart. The lights are smart. And if you want to spend more money, you can go the Bill James route, and he has all Philips Hue bulbs. And he often vacations down in Costa Rica. And of course, he can change the timing and the settings on his bulbs from there when he's on vacation. And I chose to show you the warm bulbs there because, like I said, that's my preference. But this is extremely important because I didn't realize this when I first got my GE bulbs, but all the bases are different. I have 2 lights that are controlled by smart plugs because the GE bulbs will not screw in all the way. And I didn't realize that. I just could buy these at Lowe's. So I thought, well, then I'm going to get the, GEC bulbs because I can just get them at the hardware store, so to speak. But this is critical to find out what kind of base you have before you start on your bulb trip. And there's a smart plug outlet extender, relatively inexpensive, does not go up to 5G, but it works with both our friends. And you can set up the name of the appliance for each socket. Hey, turn off or on, whatever you want, or Alexa. It just makes our life more convenient. And the URLs at the bottom take you to the website where this is located. This was my choice. I went with my Wemo friend, and I have 2 of them. I have the pole light that does not, you can't screw the bulb in, and I have one in the garage. And I am totally capable of, just reaching my hand around the corner when I go into the garage and turning on that light switch. But I just love to go because it's right off the kitchen and, have my buddy right here, turn the lights on in there. And so I have 2 of those for 2 connections that I didn't have, the bulbs didn't work. And they are really space saving on my surge protectors because they don't take up much room. And here's a coffee maker, $90 for a coffee maker. It works with all of these things, and it's an Atomi smart app. So this is when you're going to have another app involved. And you can create daily and weekly schedules. They push notifications to your phone. You get a beep if you're in the other room that you know your coffee's ready, and it turns it on and off. And you can check and change brew strengths from your phone, your tablet, whatever you use to control your smart devices. But this is Bill's coffee maker. I was talking to him today, and he told me, I've got the spin coffee maker coming. And I looked it up and I called him on the phone and I said, are you talking an $800 coffee maker? And he goes, yeah. He says, I'm eternally looking for the best cup of coffee. And it's a bean to cup coffee maker, and it can make single serves of all of those different kinds of coffee. And the dots on the map, those are all the places that you get your beans from. And there's remote control, automatic ordering, intelligence alerts, and machine status. And I know those aren't very good, but that's just to show you the 4 things that you can do with it. And he is anxiously waiting his coffee maker. And want to clean our hands before we do anything in the kitchen. This isn't exactly home automation, but you don't have to, it's just, hi, here I am, put my hand underneath it, and the soap or the sanitizer comes out immediately, and we can use that to clean our hands. Don't want to spread the germs around. I got my daughter one of these for Christmas, and she really thinks it's cool. And it's, again, it's not necessarily home automation, but it means she's not using her hand to stir anything. So she just sticks it in the pan, and those little things down at the bottom whirl all the way around. And she thinks it's really fun. She asked for it. She had seen it on Amazon and thought, I want one of those. And she got one and is loving it. So here's an intelligent cocktail creation. Bill thought this was way cool when I talked to him about it. And I have a Hamilton Beach coffee maker that is like the Keurig that has the pods, and it only makes 1 cup of coffee at a time, which works for me. And this is kind of the same thing. And you insert a cocktail capsule and say you're going to make a martini or a margarita. You're going to have whichever booze it requires on either side. And you use your smart stuff, and you turn it on, and voila, it makes your drink for you. And I was talking to Bill about this, and he said, one of his cousins several years ago put one of these together himself that he controls with his iPad. You can tell it what to do, how to do it, whatever. And he said they were having a get together, and another cousin was there. And she said, hand me your iPad. Let me fix this yourself. And she did it, and it popped up and said, dummy, comma, that's not going to work. So those are my comments down there to remind me to tell you the story. And I laughed, and I thought, how about that? Oklahoma City rises again with stuff, technology that they're doing that other people aren't. And again, the cousin put something together like this years ago. And I think this is cool. This attaches to your trash can, and it scans the items as you are throwing them out. And the comment in the here is, if you go to the pantry and you say, oh, I don't have any ketchup, you can ask if you had thrown your ketchup out and when. And you had obviously forgotten to put it on your smart list to buy some more. So talk about frivolity. This thermostat, it can check 2 temperatures at once, and it's controlled by either Alexa or Google, your choice. And this is the bullet blender. Again, it's not Wi-Fi, but if you plug all of these appliances into a plug, you can start them that way. And they said it's a powerful, intelligent smoothie blender. My comment, like Ron Popeil, is you set it and forget it. And it's got a smart touch screen. So with that, it's got the smartness, and you just set it and then you walk away. You don't have to stand there holding the top on. You can leave the room, you can come back, and your smoothie is finished. And here's your Instapot. This is the Rage. And this one is 8 kitchen appliances in one. It's a pressure cooker, a slow cooker, a rice cooker. It makes yogurt. You can make your cake with it. You can saute it, steam, and warmer. It's got 13 one-touch smart programs. This one is only compatible with Alexa, so it wouldn't be something that I would buy. And it says, hi, we're cooking, and you can share the cooker access with your family and receive alerts on your mobile device. Hey, I'm done, it's time for dinner. And this is clever. This is only $17. And you put the ingredients on, that's a little heat resistant surface there, that red thing. And with this, you can access it with your phone or your tablet. But you need to use their app to do this. And it gives you progress of what's happening. You don't need to touch anything with your dirty flour-filled fingers. It comes with hundreds of step-by-step interactive recipes. and it interacts with other appliances. And if you are making something and you go, oh, you know, it wants 3 cups of that and I only have 2, it will quickly make a suggestion for you on how you can remedy that problem. And here's an air fryer, again, something that is very possible, and it works with both our friends. And you have to have the VSync app that goes with it. You can control it directly from the display that you see or remotely with our good friends. And you can mark your favorite recipes. This is what yes, I found the way I like, my chicken is really good. And you can then review your recipe history, or you can create and save your own custom recipes and call them up on, again, your phone or your tablet whenever you want to make that dish again. And I went with the GE appliances. I decided to go with just one whole brand. And this is the countertop microwave, and it's only $180. And again, it works with both our friends. We use our voice to operate it from any room in the house. And if you put something in there, it has scan to cook technology, and it recognizes the manufacturer's barcode and sets everything up itself, which I thought was way cool. And here's their electric range. And this one has a video. There's a gentleman that he is an excellent speaker and a very good reviewer. And he said he only reviews what they buy for his house. And he's, of course, got a wife and he's got some little kids. And so he thought this GE electric range at $2,400 was way cool. I have gas at my house. And so he said he worried about the controls in the front because he's got little kids that he thought might reach up there and turn it on. Well, GE has put a lock button up there. So you just press that icon and it locks it. So little hands cannot start it. I like the fact that it has 3 shelves. I've only ever had 2. It's self-cleaning, which I think is way cool. And you can think to yourself, okay, I'm coming home. I'm preheating the oven. And oops, I don't remember if I turned my burners off or not. You can check it with your phone as you are going someplace. But here's a gas range. And it doesn't, neither one require a hub. This one, and they both do, they synchronize your clocks and lights with Chef Connect. So if you have an overhead microwave, you could set everything up to do the same thing. It's got true convection, it's got a gas cooktop, and an electric oven with hidden bake. And again, the 3 shelves there, and it's got a built-in precision temperature probe. You don't have to use another one. So it all comes in there. And so again, if you're on your way home, you can turn the oven on and start something cooking. I've always gotten a kick out of that because people normally are away from home more than 8 hours when they work. And I'm thinking, what in the world do you have in your oven that's not going to spoil? That you could have it maybe at 3 o'clock, you start the oven to cook it because it's going to take you 2.5 hours for whatever is in there to cook. I've always wondered about that, but this is a combination. So this is something that I could have, but of course, gas is always a lot more. And this is over $3,200. And my youngest daughter's sister-in-law has one of these. And her mother says, I don't really know why they bought something like this, and it's got 4 doors. And I get a kick because it looks like 2 doors and 2 drawers to me, but they say 4 doors. And the side door, it has a revolving door in door. And that's where you keep your tall bottles of wine that you can't stand up hardly any place else. And it has LED lights all in the back, and you can see how it is lit up. And the next time Carol goes to her daughter's house, she's going to open it up and see if it's this model, and it lights up in the back. But they said you will never have to dig around and find anything anymore because the lights make it so easy for you to see. You leave a door open, your smart device is going to say, psst, you left the door open. Of course, it's not going to shut it for you. It's just going to let you know that, oh my gosh, I'm at work and I left the refrigerator door open. Oops. And this is my dishwasher that I like. And it's a 1304 on sale. And it's amazing how many of these I found at Home Depot, which is just my shopping place of choice up here in Santa Clarita. And it's got 3 racks. It has room for 16 place settings. And I'm wondering, I guess I could get 8 in, but I would not be able to get too much more on the bottom shelf. And the silverware tray for the one I've got would be kind of pushing it with a 16 place setting of silverware. But it's got a hard food disposer and it rotates at 3,600 RPM. And it squishes if you just, they say, should you rinse your dishes before you put them in the dishwasher? Or should I just put them in there, food and all? Well, if you decided to put it in food and all, and it gets dislodged, this thing will crunch it all up and it will not eventually, plug up anything, and you won't have to call the plumber. And with their steam and sani, reduces, missing my R, 99.999% of the bacteria. And it's very quiet. Dishwashers these days, you're combined with your all-in-one family room and things like this. And if you have an older dishwasher and you put it on, sometimes it is, difficult to hear the TV, difficult to hear conversation. This one would be a perfect one for that situation. And it monitors everything but the kitchen sink, your rinse aid levels, but it will automatically reorder your dish detergent using your mobile device. But I just like the way this one looks, and I think this would be fun to have like I need a hole in my head. So you need a water softener to make sure that all your water in your kitchen and through your house is soft. And then you're going to use 50% less dishwasher detergent, so you can pay for that $1,300 dishwasher and get cleaner dishes with fewer spots. And it reduces scale and buildup in your Wi-Fi water heater. And with this, you use Wi-Fi to monitor water usage and flow rate, and it lets you know when your salt levels are low. We are restricted in where we live because we have something called the Santa Clara River that really doesn't have any water in it. But the water that we use and that goes into Ventura, where they grow avocados and stuff like that. So we cannot have any salt in our water when it leaves Santa Clarita and goes west. And it would be interesting to know if this would meet the requirements for that, because my oldest kids had a water softener and they had to change it out when that went into effect. And here's your electric water heater, and it's only $700. I just bought a new water heater and it was well over $1,500, but again, it's gas. Our electricity is extremely high now, and I can imagine what it would be if we had electric water heaters. But the length of time it took for my gas water heater to heat up the water just so I could fill the sink in the kitchen today was absolutely amazing. This is one of those, hey, you turn the faucet on and you got hot water. And it's Wi-Fi. You can adjust the temperature, set your vacation mode. I know when the people across the street go on vacation, they just turn their water heater off. No reason to use the gas to keep it warm. And you can receive notifications. And apparently there's something called an anoid rod, and it needs to be replaced. So they don't let you guess about that. They let you know when it's time to replace it, so your water heater lasts longer. And you need to clean your kitchen. You've done all your cooking and you're all finished. and you're not going to mop it, but you need to clean it. Well, a bunch of APCU people love the Wise robot vacuum. $249.99, which is a lot less expensive than some of the others. And some of them got in when it was first available for $199. When Wise started out, it was, order it and pay for it. And when we get enough money, we're going to start building it. I got in with them with their first camera, and I kept getting, emails. Hey, we're almost there. We're almost there. Okay, we got enough money. We're getting it built. Oops, it's on the ship and it's coming over. And it landed in Long Beach or LA Harbor. And then it arrived at my door. But they kept the progress up all the time. And this doesn't have, this has radar. And the guys that have this, and they are all men that I know, by the way. And they say this is fantastic. It's not the kind that bumps into things and then turns around. It actually maps your house. And if you don't want your bathroom vacuumed, or in Bill's case, he doesn't want it coming in at middle of the night and wake the dog up. So his door is closed. Doesn't do that one at that particular time. Herman vacuums twice a day. For Bill, twice a week, Tuesday and Thursday, starts at 2 o'clock and does its thing. And I had him send me a picture of it after it had cleaned his rug. And I went, really? Boy, that looks great. And his comment was, it does a better job than the cleaning lady, really, he said, because nobody ever cleans under the dining room table or takes the chairs out. Well, Herman is small enough that it just goes in the dining room table and does the thing like that. And you can schedule it, of course, when you want it. You can tell it, I want to do all of the rooms, only these rooms, whatever. It's quite an interesting product. And everybody that I know that has one of these thinks it's the best thing that came down the pike. And here they are. The upper left one is the president of the Glendoras, and he lives in Southern California. And he didn't name his. Most people I know that have the home automation stuff name their things. Miss Alice is Bob G's. And Miss Alice and Bob live in New Mexico. Rosie belongs to J.J. Johnson, who is with the Lake County Area Computer Enthusiasts. And that's Jasmine, his cat. He sent me a video playing with Rosie. And what I was waiting for was a picture of Herman. I had asked Bill to send it to me, and he forgot. He sent me all the other pictures I needed, and he's had his the longest. And Herman lives in Oklahoma City, and they all swear by them. They love them. And Bill's had his the longest, and he's had one brush wear out. And he just ordered, a set of all the brushes from Wise, and it was like $29 for the replacement parts. And he says, you really don't have to, empty it that often, but it does an excellent job. And so this is Sudsy. This is Bill's washing machine. And he's a Google person, but he can use it. He can be, in his office or out in the patio barbecuing and think, yeah, I got to start my laundry. And he can use his phone. He uses his phone for everything. And he can use it to start the washing machine, stop it, monitoring what has happened. And he gets notifications. When Sudsy is finished, she lets him know that she's finished. And it's time to put the clothes in the dryer. So meet Bounce, his dryer. And again, either Alexa or our friend Google. And it lets him know that the clothes, or he doesn't iron, so it can let him know when the clothes are the correct dampness for ironing. And I'm thinking to myself, really? Do we iron anymore? Okay. And he also could get an alert if something is stuck in the vent. And his are in his house, and that's kind of critical for him because it could cause a fire. And there's wrinkle care that extends the tumble without the heat. And the bottom graphic shows you how that looks. And he said with bounce, he gets an alert letting him know that it is finished. And if he doesn't get up and take the clothes out, about an hour later, he gets an alert that says, would you like me to do the, wrinkle free, like the cool cycle to just, like refresh your clothes. And so it's just, they do keep track of you. We just thought that if they could figure out some way to take the clothes from the washer and put them in the dryer, that would be fun. And here's where they live. They live in the hall, just right next to his kitchen. And the door to the garage is to the left. And they are just a lot of fun to use. And the kitchen is outside also. This is his Traeger wood pellet grill. And of course, since it's Bill, its name is Mr. Smokey. And he uses it with his phone or his tablet. And it works beautifully. Since he's gotten this, he has had so many guests over because he just loves it for cooking. And he's just really having a good time with it. And that chair right there where you can see on the right, he will sit there with his phone as he's watching the planes land and take off from Tinker Air Base or whatever. And he can control his whole house from that chair right there and his phone. But again, he is just loving this Wi-Fi connected pellet barbecue. So you have to think about when you are buying your devices, how many apps do you want to use? Do you want to try to, like I chose the GE series? And if you do buy the GE series at Home Depot, your payments are $649 a month. And as I was telling that to one of my daughters, she said, and for how many months? And I said, I couldn't bring myself to look at it. But the standards for some devices aren't the same. So you need to be very, very careful when you're putting all of this together. And if you have devices that are use different apps, you need to make sure, of course, they're all secure, because when you have less, then you have less to worry about setting up the security options and keeping on top of it. And your router, it's the key to your security. They're either Wi-Fi or wired. My home automation is Wi-Fi, but with Spectrum, I need to have my computer and my smart TV via Ethernet, because every once in a while, my Wi-Fi goes on strike. And I have the door, I have my lights, I have other things, and it just comes to a screeching halt. So I've decided to call it go on strike. And then it starts up again, and my buddy right here, my hub, he sets everything up again, and everything works, beautifully. Y'all know, rename your router, kind of when they ship, no matter what kind, they all have the same name. And you got to have a good username and password, a very strong password, the passphrase, and use strong encryption, no less than WPA2. And remember, please keep your router software and your firmware up to date. And if you have a 1,000-year-old router, you might want to think about changing it to something that will give you the latest updates in security, etc. And Bill would be happy if you rebooted your router every single week. He put a router, Wi-Fi, and modem presentation together for a Wednesday workshop. And he said, it's just like your computer, rebooted. And he suggests you use a separate Wi-Fi network for your devices. You have guests coming in and they need to use some of the Wi-Fi. then you can direct them to that on your guest network. And again, read and understand the privacy policy for everything. Turn on 2FA if there's any way you possibly can with your device accounts. We just do not want anybody, you know, breaking in to our homes, so to speak, via our Wi-Fi. And many people say, you know, I just don't really know. I feel they're listening to me. Well, I do too, and I don't care. I have been out on the internet for a gazillion years, so I always tell everybody my information is out on every bathroom wall out on the internet, because I've been doing this for such a long time. And before we knew, we weren't supposed to put as much information about us out there. And if people are afraid of this, they can just turn them off and turn them back on when they are using them. If I did that, it takes, you know, seconds for it to reboot and turn everything back on again. And then I have where my graphics are from. And that's all I have.